Alright guys, so this is part 2 of adding fractions with unlike denominators. So I'm going to continue with f and number f, letter f, and we've got 2/3 plus 2/7. Okay, so I want you to look at the denominator of both, 3 and 7. Okay, and we're going to write out our multiples. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 7 is 21, 3 times 8 is 24. All right, and I'm going to stop there. Sevens. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 5 is 35, and we'll stop there. So in this list of numbers, what do you see can be our least common multiple, or our denominator? If I'm looking, I see that they both have 21 and 21. Okay, and that's our least common multiple. So with that being said, I'm going to take 2/3 and I'm going to have to figure out what times 3 equals a denominator of 21. And then I'm going to take 2/7 and I'm going to multiply by what to get me a denominator of 21? Well, 3 times what is 21? Well, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 3 times 7. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 3 times 7 is 21. 2 times 7 is 14. That's a funky 14. All right, and then 7 times what is 21? Well, 7 times 1, 7 times 2, 7 times 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 2 times 3 is 6. So now I have a new problem. Okay, I've got 14 21sts plus 6 21sts. Because now I have the same denominator, I can add. 14 plus 6 is what? It is 20. Okay, over 21. Now, this is the simplest form. Okay, so it's 20 over 21. All right, so I'm going to keep on rocking and rolling. So let's look at number 2. It says solve the following problems. Draw a picture and write the number sentence that provides the answer, and then simplify. So it says Jamal used 1/3 yard of ribbon to tie a package and 1/6 yard of ribbon to tie a bow. How many yards of ribbon did he use in all? So we have in all, well, it doesn't say in all, but how many yards of ribbon did Jamal use? So really we have an addition problem. 1/3 plus 1/6. And if you go back to what I was telling you to do, you've got your denominator 3 and you've got a denominator of 6. So let's write out our multiples of 3 and our multiples of 6. So 3, I'm going to count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay. And then I'm going to write my multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18. Oh, these have lots that are in common. So I'm going to choose 12 because it's further down. So let's see if we have to simplify this. So I'm going to take 1/3 and I'm going to multiply it by something to get a denominator of 12. I'm going to take 1/6 and do the same. Multiply it by something to get me a denominator of 12. 6 times what is 12? Well, I know that's 6 times 2. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. Now 1/3 times what is 12? Well, or 3 times what is 12? 3 times 4 is 12. And what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 4 times 1 is 4. So now I have the same denominator. Okay, so now I have a new problem. 2/12. Whoops, my pen's messing up. Let me erase that. I have 2/12 plus 4/12. Well, 4 plus 2 is 6, and I keep the denominator. Now, we need to simplify a little bit. Okay, so we've got 6/12. This is correct, but there is an even smaller fraction. So when we have something like this, I start by using division. Okay, if I want this 6 to be a 1, what do I divide by? I divide by 6. So if I divide by 6 on the top, I have to divide by 6 on the bottom. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So my real simplified answer is Jamal used 1/2 of the ribbon. Okay. Pause the video if you need to get all of it written down. We will review this when I get back tomorrow. Let's look at number 3. Over the weekend, Nolan drank 1/6 quart of orange juice. Andrea drank 3/4 quarts of orange juice. How many quarts did they drink together? So we have another addition problem. 1/6 plus 3/4. We want these numbers to be the same. In order to do that, we look at our denominators and we write out our least common multiple. So we've got 4 and we've got 6. So I'm going to count by 4s first. 4, 8, 12, 16. And stop there. I'm going to write out my multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay, well I see that 12 appears in both lists. So that's going to be our least common multiple. So I'm going to change this to make 12. So I know that both of my denominators will become 12. But what times 6 equals 12? 6 times 2. So if I multiply this by 2, I have to do it to the top 2. 2 times 1 is 2. I add. And then what times 4 is 12? Well, I know that's 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And then I got to do it to the top as well. 3 times 3 is 9. Now because they're the same denominator, I can add. 9 plus 2 is 11 over 12. The denominator just comes over. So they drank 11/12 quarts of orange juice. Okay. And the last problem, number 4. Nadia spent 1/4 of her money on a shirt and 2/5 of her money on new shoes. What fraction of Nadia's money has been spent? What fraction of her money is left? So we have an addition and we have a subtraction problem. Okay, so she spent 1/4 of her money on a shirt and she spent 2/5 of her money. So first we need to add this together. Okay, but we can't do that because they're not the same denominator, but we can find one. So let's start by writing out our least common multiple to find our common denominator. So 4, I'll write out my 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and I'm going to start 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, well to me, 20 pops out because they're both in the list. So here's 20, here's 20. That's my least common multiple. So in order to make this 20, 1/4 times what equals the denominator of 20? And then 2/5 times what equals the denominator of 20? So 4 times what is 20? Well, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 5 times 1 is 5. And then 5 times what is 20? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. And what I got to do to the bottom, I got to do to the top. 4 times 2 is 8. So now I have a new problem. 5/20 plus 8/20 equals what? So what is 5 plus 8? If you need to, you can use your fingers to count on. So lock in 8 and count up 5. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I've got 13/20 that was spent, okay, on the t-shirt and the new shoes. So that has been spent. This has been spent, 13/20. Now, the next question says, what fraction of her money is left? Okay, so this can be a little complicated to think about, but how do I make this 13/20 one whole? The denominator and the numerator have to be the same. So I know that it's going to be 20 over 20, right? Because this equals 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 20 over 20 minus 13 over 20. So 20 over 20 minus 13 over 20. They have the same denominator, so I can subtract. What does 20 take away 13? I want you to pause the video, and I want you to think about it. Okay? And if you need to, you can write it over here, and you can just do the standard algorithm of subtraction. Okay? So I can't regroup here, so this becomes a 10 and this becomes a 1. 10 minus 3 is 7. 1 minus 1 is nothing. So what is left is 7/20ths of her money. Okay? So that's how you do that one. Okay? We will review this tomorrow when I get back, but I feel like writing out your least common multiples will help you on your exit ticket. If it asks you to draw a model, just do the best you can. I'm not really going to look at the model. The model is just for a visual. Okay? So if you feel like you understand the model better, then go for it. But if you like the least common multiples, then use that as well. Okay? Be sure to turn in your exit ticket to the math basket so I can look over those, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? I hope this helps.